Okay, good evening everyone. How are we doing? Trust you all had a great day, and once again, happy weekend, family. So, today, family, I'm just here to reveal the trade that I took this week actually. So, first of all, let's go with Europe USD. Let's go with Europe USD. So let me take us to the 1 hour's time frame so that we can see what I was basically looking at and what really made me took that trade actually. So let's go, family, let's go. So up from the 1 hour's time frame we can see the structure, right? Up from the 1 hour's time frame we can see the structure. We have lower low, right? We have lower high, we have lower low, we have lower high, we have lower low. We had a break of structure here, right? Market broke structure up from here. So after the broke structure, right, after the broke structure, this was the break of structure. You can see how identify I've not yet even cleared the chart yet. So after the broke structure, I mark out my range up from this swing low to this swing high, family. From this swing low to this swing high, after I mark out my range, okay, where am I really looking for targeting? Basically I was targeting this institutional candle here, right? And why am I really targeting this institutional candle? You can see how that institutional candle really look clean for targeting, right? There was an engulfing, there was an imbalance, there was a liquidity swiped, right? So I was really having interest on that candle, so I mark out this candle basically, right? I'll mark out this candle for mitigation. So what happened, you can see when price was retracing back, even on the 1 hour's time frame, we were able to spot a very clear structure. So we don't really need to go to smaller time frame. So you can see that there is a very clear structure when they were retracing back to give us a new higher low in order to create a new higher high, right? So what can we see? We have lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? Then what happened? Immediately they mitigate of our points of interest. We can see the reaction of price off from our points of interest, right? In order for the price to give us a new lower low, what happened? We can see a very clear break of structure off from the 1 hour's time frame that we are looking to plan our trade. So this gave me a very nice confidence of being assured that the price will buy up, right? Being assured that the price will buy up. So sorry, I was very sure that okay, this price is ready to buy up, right? So basically I mark out this area here, I mark out this area here. So I said, since I was able to spot a very clear break of structure off from the 1 hour's time frame after mitigating my 1 hour point of interest again, so I will basically wait for this area here. I'll wait for this candle to be respected, and after they respect this candle, I want to see a 5-minute break of structure after they respect this area. So let's go to the 5 minutes time frame. Let's see the reaction of price off from there. So we can see when price was retracing after taking out this major high, after mitigating our period, after taking this lower high, right? You can see, oh, how is my sister slowing? What's happening? So you can see when market was coming back, let me arrange this. When market was coming back, that's when market was giving us a retracement. We can see a series of lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? We have a lower low, right? This is a lower low, it closed below this previous low, right? Then what happened, family? We can see how price took out this high here. Let me mark it out. This was a clear break of structure. This is where the break of structure happened, family. This is where the break of structure happened. It was a very clear break of structure off from the 5 minutes time frame, off from that area. So after the break structure, remember this was where the break of structure happened. Then I was having this area as an area of targeting, family. This was my first point of interest. you can see that area does not really look clear for targeting off from this time frame. But if we move down to our smaller time frame, such as 3 minutes time frame, you'll be able to spot a very clear POI that you can take advantage of off from there. So let me show us, guys. You know, we do refine our order block on the smaller time frame. If we are not really seeing a very clear POI that we can play off from the time frame that we are planning our trade, we can go by refining our order block on the smaller time frame, right, to get that high probable area of mitigation, right, which is our area of targeting. Sorry, I mean our area of mitigation. So we can see on the 3 minutes time frame, we're able to spot a very clear area of mitigation here. Look at this institutional candle, right? Look at this smart money cube. I call it the smart money cube that is aligning with imbalance, and at the same time this candle was engulfed, right? So I was like, okay, I really love this area for mitigation, and as you can see, that area has not been yet mitigated. So I waited for price. Basically, I was waiting for price. I was really waiting for price for price to retrace back to my POI. Then you can see what really happened, right? You can see what really happened. They did not really give us this retracement that we really looking at for price to come back and give us a mitigation here. Then what happened? They gave us a new lower low, a new higher low, and higher high, right? So basically I was having this area as a point of interest, but one thing that I know is that I said, I just tell myself that I will never cancel this order. Why? Because we can see there's a kind of form of liquidity here, right, which is, I call this a dynamic liquidity. There's a kind of form of liquidity there that there is a high chances that price will take out this liquidity and come back for mitigation here, which they did, right? So they give us higher low, higher high, right? So what happened? I was really targeting this area here. Then you can see that price did not even come back there for mitigation, right? Then they did as if they want to buy up, right? Then you can see how I mark out this area as an area of liquidity. I said, okay, even though they did not come back here, I'm seeing this form of liquidity. They should come back and capture this liquidity, then buy up off from this range, right? But what happened? We can see that after they really play what I was anticipating, what can we see? They did not even take out this liquidity. They were able to take out this liquidity, this dynamic liquidity, and nicely come back and tap in that buy order which I was having. A very sniper entry, a very sniper entry. You can see my stop loss was here, right? And I was having a target of a 1 to 8 risk to reward. Right? So let me just leave it. It's already passed. This is just a back test of what I did this week. So I was, you can see how they cleared this liquidity, came back, tapping my entry point, and what happened? You can see how they buy massively, very massively. So my next trade was the same on Euro USD. So this was the first trade that I took, and my second trading idea, I was like, okay, since there was a liquidity swipe up from here, right, and market has created a new higher high up from the 1 hour time frame, what are we anticipating? We are really anticipating to see a new higher low to be formed, right? So I was basically looking at this area. Why am I looking at this area? Is because all this area here is a price action balance. So I was not able that's on the 1 hour time frame. So I was not really having a point of interest off from that area, because I was very sure that there is high, there is no kind of high probable area where I will look at for targeting off from there. So look at it, it's very clear, right? This is my range, from this swing low to this swing high off from the 1 hour time frame. So you can see it's very clear that all price action has been balanced. There's no any area where we can say, okay, now After having this area as a point of interest, we can look at the second point of interest. This candle has been mitigated, this candle has been mitigated, this candle has been mitigated, right? So I was having this area alone as a point of interest. So what happened, I measured the 50% of that area on the 5 minutes time frame, because I was just paying attention to the 5 minutes time frame. Actually, I was just paying attention to the 5 minutes time frame structure. So I measured the 50% of this candle here. I measured the 50% of this candle here. Then what happened, you can see how market reversed back. And what happened, I have an entry bias here. My stop loss was below this low. I was targeting this high, right? I was targeting this high. Then what happened, you can see how market came and took me out, right? Took me out. So that's a very, very normal thing in the market. I understand that having win and losses, it is it is part of the game. You cannot win all the time. You cannot win all the time, right? So after after they took me out, I was like, okay, what am I really looking at next? What am I really looking at next? So let me see what price will do, right? That was what I was like looking at. Let me see what price will do, whether they will be able to close below this previous higher low that they created, right? So after they took me out, you can see that they came back, they mitigated off some major area here, which is this weak rejection, because like I told us guys, all price was balanced, but I was not able to spot this. Then they mitigated off this week, this week they mitigated this week, and what happened, they gave us some redistribution, right? They gave us some redistribution up from this area. Then I was like, I did not really take this trade. Then I was just paying attention to the price action. I'm always looking at high probability setup, so I was just paying attention to the price action. Then what happened, you can see price came, took out this low, and also took out this low here. That's why you can see that I indicated this area as a BMS. Actually, that's why I indicated this area as a BMS. So after this break of structure, basically what we were really anticipating, I was having a bias up from here. But probably I was like, this cells that I'm looking at up from here is not kind of high probable sell, right? Why? Because of this equal highs that is here. So I was looking at this as an inducement, right? I was looking at this as an inducement. So I was having an area of targeting here. Yeah, I mark out this zone here. This one was today. Like I took this today. I was having a sell zone up from here. So I was like, okay, if price took me out up from here, up from this sell zone, because you can see that they created a new lower low, lower high, and lower low, right? So we should anticipate a sell, right? Then what happened, basically price really took us out. I was out of this trade here, and basically I did not really take this trade. I remember I did not take this trade. Why? Because I was not able to see all my confirmation, right? That was I was waiting for a smaller time frame break of structure, and price did not really give me that smaller time frame break of structure, so I did not take this position. So I was basically looking at this area here. So I was like, okay, if price mitigate up from this area, what I really want to see was that, okay, I want to see if a break of structure on the smaller time frame, and which price really did during the NFT. So let me take us to the 1 minute time frame, because I entered the trade off from the 1 minute time frame. Let me take us to the 1 minute time frame. The sell was crazy. It was off from the 1 minute time frame actually. So you can see all these 1 minute time frame. So let me zoom in. This 1 minute time frame entry. So after they mitigated my POI, like I did not just take the trade. I went on and I look at the previous information where I was looking for targeting. I was like, okay, that break of structure that I saw on the 1 minute time frame, what causes that break of structure, and I saw this imbalance and I saw this institutional candle here. So I was like, wow, this is a very very nice, sell zone. Not sell zone, a demand zone. Some people call it like that, but basically I just keep it simple to myself. I call it a mitigation zone, right? Mitigation zone or sell zone. So I was like, that's a very very nice, mitigation zone. So price, as price, really broke structure, gave me confidence of that sell. So look at it, after they mitigated that zone, I was like, okay, I want to take a shot from here. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? Market what? Broke structure downside. So I was basically having this area as a point of interest. This was my first entry because you can see how they created so many opinions, you know how they created so many opinions in our mind. I'm gonna show us what I'm gonna show us what I'm talking about. You can see after they broke this structure, right? After they broke structure, you have like two demand zone, right? Two mitigation area. So basically, I was really rushing. Like, I won't lie, actually, I was really rushing. Like, I don't want to miss the move. I don't want to miss the move. I was like, I call it FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. I was like, okay, this price, this guy have started selling, right? This guy have started selling. Then I was like, let me just jump into this trade, and my stop loss should be above, right? So I look at this zone. It was a very very nice zone for sell, right? So I sold down from that area. I placed my sell limits off from here, but I was still having this area in mind. I was still really having this area in mind because look at this institutional candle, look at this engulfing, right? So I was having that area in mind, and we have imbalance that was sitting there. So I was really having that area in mind. So what happened? They did not really sell. You can see how they took me out, right? They took me out. That was just kind of, it was not up to 1 pips actually. It's just a cent. They took me out of from there. Then I was like, okay, fine, let me see what price will do next. Then after they took me out, we can see how they sold down massively. I was like, wow, what's this? I say, okay, I'm still looking at this area to be mitigated. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna cancel this order. I'm gonna wait for the NFT news to be released so that let me see how the market will go, right? Let me see how the market will go. So I was still having this area as a point of interest actually. So as you can see, after the NFT news, you can see immediately the NFT news was released, they retraced back massively. The buy was massively, and you can see immediately the tapping that sell zone, that mitigation zone, this area you can see they just tapping the open of that candle, the body of that candle. I can see this, that the tapping the 50% of that candle. Let's measure it and see. This was a crazy sniper entry. No, I did not draw that. It's from the swing low, from the swing high to the swing low, so let's go family. Oh, so it is not up to 50%, but they just tap in the body of the candle. Like, I can tell us guys that they close in their position, all family. So what can we see after they mitigated that area? And let me show us guys something also. What gave me more confidence that our price will come back here for mitigation? We have this equal highs. So I was looking at this as inducement. Actually, I was really looking at that as inducement. Look at it. I was looking at, okay, they created equal highs there, and we are really anticipating NFT news. So there is no reason for me to close this position. Actually, there is no reason for me to close this position. So I was just holding, like I was just watching the price. If they decide to just keep selling, definitely they will give us structure that I can take advantage of, right? So I was just sitting and watching. So I was just observing, and immediately we can see the tapping our order, and up to now they are still selling like massively. After creating lower low, they created a new lower high, and you can see how they are still selling massively, family. You can see how the sell is still massive, and the sell was from 1 minute time frame. What it was a very crazy sniper entry, family, trust me. This is a 1 to 9 risk to reward, a very nice trade. This is a very nice trade, but I took my profits. I took my profit at 1 to 4 risk to reward. Actually, 1 to 4 risk to reward, 1 to 4 risk to reward. That's where I took my profit. So this is the trade that I took, and the ones that I also had losses. Like, there is so many trades that I took. I had a trade on GBP USD, but I just want to make this video short, and I just want to show us guys how I plan my trade and how I take my trade. So that is it, family. That is it. And little encouragement that I will give us, family. We should always trust the process, and also trust our trading rule, right? No matter how the market is slow, no matter how long we wait for the price, right? We should just have that patience, right? We should just have that patience and always wait for trade to come to us. I also took this trade, and you can see how the sell is still selling down like crazy. Like, you can see I was having a limit here, right? I was having a limit here, and suddenly price came, pick me. Let me show us guys, let me amaze you guys on this trading idea. It was also a 5 minutes entry. It was also a 5 minutes entry, family. It was also a 5 minutes entry. Let's go, family. So this is a very crazy weak rejection out from there. That was a very crazy weak rejection, having a liquidity here, right? So let's go. After they mitigated that area, basically structure, let me take us guys through the structure. We have lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? So what happened? We're waiting for a new lower high to be formed, then we sell down, right? So after they created a new lower high, we had a break of structure. I was looking at the 1 minute time frame, because basically, why did I move down to the 1 minute time frame? Because I know that they mitigated my major POI, right? So that is what I do. It's only when like price did not really mitigate the POI like nicely the way I want, that's where I'll be looking at the 5 minutes time frame to wait for a break of structure, whether for me to enter. But if they really mitigated my points of interest the way I want, I'll just look at 1 minute time frame entry, right? So let me take us to the 1 minute time frame entry. Let me show us guys how I was able to take the trade, family. Let me show us guys. It was very simple, family. It was very simple. You can see the 1 minute time frame where they mitigated was a very nice area. And what made that area very nice, I'm gonna show us guys so that you guys will just feel as if I'm just marking out zones and just sitting and waiting to see price coming, and just a lot of things that we used to do actually. So look at this area. We have this demand zone. We have, look at it. Let me take out my cursor. We have that mitigation point, which is this institutional candle, and this candle was engulfed, right? So look at how they respected that area very nicely. And like I told us guys, I always wait for confirmation entry. I don't just take my trade from order block. I don't trade that way. I don't trade that way. So we have a higher high, right? We have a higher low, we have higher high. Then we had a break of structure here, family. We had a very nice break of structure here. So after that break of structure, I was looking at this as equal high that need to be captured. You can see how it's very clear, right? I was looking at that as equal high that needs to be captured. So also I was looking at this area as a mitigation point, a very nice mitigation point actually. Why? Because we can see, like, I don't really need to tell us guys why that area really look like you need to target that area. You can see this candle took out liquidity, right? And after taking out liquidity, you can see this impulse move to the downside that leads to this break of structure, and there is imbalance. This candle, this institutional candle, was engulfed also. So I really love that area. Institutional candle sitting inside imbalance, check, right? So I was really having very nice interest on that area. I was having a very nice interest on that area. Like I just like the sniper entry, like it was crazy. So after the you know break structure, like I was expecting this retracement to get back here, right? Then what happened? They started selling, right? They created a new lower high, they created a new lower lower low, lower high, lower low, right? Then what happened? What happened, family? You can see I was looking at this area. So okay, let me have like two entry points on this trade. Why? Because they have given me a new lower high. So if they took me out off from this trade, fine. I'm looking at this area. So what happened? You can see we have this institutional candle, right? This is where the buy started off from. This is where the buy started off from. Look at, take a very good look at that area. So we had a liquidity swiped off from here. We have a very large imbalance here. We have a very large imbalance here. So I was like, okay, this area here should be my entry point, my stop loss above. This is 1 minute time frame. This is 1 minute time frame. And what happened? You can see it was a very nice sniper entry, like crazy. Look at it, just tapping tip of that area. And what happened? The rest is history. I hit 1 to 6, no, not 1 to 6, 1 to 4, like 1 to 4 risk to reward. Look at it, very nicely. So immediately I hit this 1 to 4 risk to reward, I close the position. Why? Because I'm waiting for the NFT news, right? So I was like, definitely this zone will be taken out, right? This zone where I'm selling off from will be taken out because of they left this area unmitigated. So it should be like an inducement. It should induce all the people that are selling and come back and mitigate the major POI that they need to mitigate, right? So what happened? You can see immediately I take my profits. They were able to give us a 1 to 6 raise to reward. Actually they were able to give us a 1 to 6 raise to reward. Then what happened? You can see how they retrace back massively, right? Immediately they retrace back. Immediately they are retracing back. You can see the NFT news, right? We sold down. We sold down, family. Sold down. This is where I took my TP. This is where I took my TP. 1 to 8 was a very nice trade, family. And look at it, the trade is still running. The trade is still running. Still running actually. The trade run almost 1 to 11 risk reward, but I was no longer in the trade again. Actually, I was not really in the trade. So that is it, family. This is the trade that I took this week. There are many of them, but I just want to make this video short. So I believe that you can also learn on you can also learn how to mark up your chart by just watching this video, because I did not really just break down how I take my trade this week, but I also show us how I plan my trade and how I go by executing my trade. So you just need to pay attention to this video and watch like 2 times 3 times to just get how I do my thing. That is it, family. So you should remain blessed and may God see us through. Yeah, then that FS will give you the best out of what we all desire by the grace of God. So that is it, family. Cheers, man.